Welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. On today's episode, guys, what I'm going to be talking about is that whenever we're trying to apply certain tools and techniques that we have learned to calm down our anxiety, to, control our anxiety, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, number one, make sure that we're doing it correctly, and number two, to make sure that it's actually going to work. And I've always talked about this, that the reason why we have anxiety in the first place is that because of years and years and years of stress, worry, and pressure, that eventually we came to the point where our sympathetic nervous system, which handles those three things, can no longer handle it. And it snapped in a way, and it can no longer handle the stress, worry, and pressure. And also the sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the fight and fight mode, which is our anxiety. So whenever it's no longer able to handle our stress and worry and pressure, that it finally gives in and it finally snaps, we have anxiety 24/7. Now, if we're putting more pressure on ourselves, right, in any aspect, even whenever we're trying to heal ourselves, to make sure that we're doing it correctly, to make sure that we're actually going to come out of this thing, that's putting pressure on ourselves. Like, am I doing this the right way? I don't know if I'm doing this the right way. Like, what do I do? Like, and I know why. I know why that happens. It's because you want to make sure that you're going to be anxiety free, that you're not going to have anxiety. I know that, but we have to understand that we need to be okay with having anxiety, guys. We need to, in order for us to overcome anxiety and to let go of the pressure, the stress, and the worry, we, number one, need to be okay with, having anxiety. I know that's hard. I know that's a hard thing to just accept. Like, you know what? I have anxiety and I'm just okay with it. And I'm not saying to be okay with your situation and just give up. No. I just mean, like, I'm going to accept that I have anxiety. Because again, our goal is to be anxiety free, is to calm down ourselves, is to not put pressure on ourselves, not to have stress or worry. And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do. I know that it's not. But whenever we tell ourselves, you know what, I'm okay, I accept that I have anxiety. I'm not going to stay like this, but I accept the way I feel. I accept my thoughts. I accept the physical sensations that I have. What that does, basically, it helps us to calm down. That would also help us whenever we are trying to do a certain technique in order for us to calm down. That would help us to actually do it correctly and to also do it in a way of like without any pressure. Because you know what? Number one, I'm okay with having anxiety. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to fight it or anything like that. I'm okay with the thoughts that I have and the physical sensations and the emotions. But at the same time, of course, I don't want to be stuck like this, but I'm going to apply this tool. I'm going to try my best to get it done. I'm going to try my best to know that I actually got this thing correctly. And I might not do it correctly the first time. I may need to go over and over and over again. And it might be hard for me the first time doing it. I might get frustrated. So I might not do the entire thing. Like, for example, let's say we have the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique, right? The 5-4-3-2-1, whenever we get to the smell and the taste, it's kind of hard. We got to think like, oh my God, I got to concentrate on it. Or even the hearing. 3 things that you can hear. And that's kind of hard sometimes to pay attention. Like, okay, what do I hear right now? I hear my computer. I hear my own voice. What else do I hear? I hear the boiler working. So like, it may take some time. You may get frustrated. Like, okay, we just want to get through it. No. Just take it one step at a time. You might not get it right the first time. You might mess up the first time. And I remember I spoke about this a few episodes ago about failure, about not being a perfectionist. Not making mistakes is okay. Because we have to, again, and I want to instill this, and this is something that is very hard for anxiety strugglers because we naturally put pressure on ourselves. We naturally do. No matter what it is, whatever needs to be done, we have pressure. We put pressure on ourselves. And we need to stop. We need to start reversing that so that we can handle the pressure. So whenever we're trying a new thing, whenever we're trying a tool or technique that we're trying to overcome and heal our anxiety, that's going to help us to calm down, number one, understand like, you know what? I'm not going to get it right the first time. I'm going to mess up. That's okay. That is okay. If I still experience anxiety, after doing the tool, maybe I'm not doing it correctly. Number one. And number two, that it's okay that I have anxiety. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to say, oh my God, why do I have still anxiety? This tool doesn't work. No. Maybe I'm not doing it right. And you know what? It's okay that I have anxiety. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. I'm going to accept the way I think, the way I feel, the way I physically feel, and the physical sensation that I have, because that's going to help us to calm down. Because again, the trick is to let go of the pressure. So number two is that with the anxiety, I'm just going to accept it. I'm not going to fight it or anything like that. Now, number three, I am going to try different techniques. Maybe the technique didn't work for me. Maybe it's too complicated for me, or, it's too much for me. I can't handle it. Maybe I'll get there one day. I'm going to try something more simpler. I'm going to try something that's much easier. Maybe the breathing exercise is a little too much for me and it increases my anxiety. Maybe I'm just going to try the grounding technique or the focus exercise or the acceptance, whatever it is. I'm going to try one thing and I'm going to master that. Something simple, because maybe the first one that I tried wasn't working for me, but I'm going to try this one. Or that, guys, you can continue doing the first one that you've tried or the technique that you tried and it wasn't really successful and try to master that and try it a few more times. That's also going to help. But the trick is, guys, you have to understand, put this in your mind. This is number one. This is key. Not putting pressure on yourself. That's the thing whenever you're trying to overcome and heal your anxiety. And that can be with other things as well. Not only with that. Not only with whenever you're trying to heal your anxiety, in generally speaking, whenever you have things to do, whatever it is, try not to put pressure on yourself. Like, I'll give you an example with me. Whenever in the morning I have to get ready for me and my daughter, I'm trying to get her ready to go to school and everything, to go to kindergarten. The night before I started to do this, because in the morning I get very pressured. I have to do this. I got to wash her, her hands. I got to brush her teeth, get her dressed, change her diapers, all these things. There's a lot needs to be done. So what I started to do, I said to myself, okay, you know what? Too much pressure for me in the morning. I get very stressed out and everything. I have so many things to do. I got to rush. I'm like, you know what? The night before, I'm going to get things ready. I'm going to get her clothing ready for the day for tomorrow. I'm going to get everything ready, her diapers. I'm going to get my clothing ready so that I already know, okay, this is what I'm going to wear. I'm going to get her food, whatever needs to be taken, with her ready. And in the morning, it's completely different. I'm out of the house within an hour instead of 2 hours. And I'm like, wow, 2 hours, that's a long time. But yeah, because again, I wasn't organized. And it takes me time also to get ready. I'm okay, like, what I'm going to wear. Okay, I need to take this. I need to get that. And it's a lot to do, and that puts a lot of pressure on myself. And I said to myself, like, you know what? I'm just going to prepare the day before for the next day. Even the things that I need to do for the next day, I'm going to write it out. Okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to get done. It gets you more focused, and like you have a plan and you're much calmer. You're able to predict the future in a way of what's going to happen. And even if you're predicting with the future, right, you're trying to write down things that needs to be done. Also instill good things that's going to happen. That, you know what, I'm going to get ready tomorrow morning. It's going to get done 1, 2, 3. Now, some people might say, but I might give certain expectation. I might get upset. So we need to instill in ourselves and tell, you know what, I'm going to get everything done. Things might not work the way I want it to be. Things might happen, and I'm going to be open to that. I have to be open, and it's hard to do that. It's hard because you're laser focused. Okay, this is what I need to get done, but we need to be flexible. We need to start being flexible because, again, guys, the key is not to put pressure. And whenever things don't go according to where we want it to be or how we thought it's going to be, we start getting stressed out. We start having pressure on ourselves. That's not good. That's not something that we want. Now, also, this is also important, guys. Try not to put pressure on yourself for not putting pressure on yourself. Like, if you're trying not to put pressure on yourself, don't put pressure on yourself not to have pressure. Do you understand? Because whenever we're trying not to have pressure, we're pressuring ourselves not to have pressure. No. Even with that, we need to be okay with it. So you know what? It's okay that I'm pressured. It's okay to be pressured. It sounds like, okay, this thing is getting really deep over here. I know, guys. I know. And it's like, okay, this is getting a little too complicated. No, but the key is being okay with your situation. Of course, not staying in it. Being okay that you are pressured. Don't try to tell you, oh my God, I shouldn't be this way. This really sucks. No. It's okay to be that way. We are going to learn, and we are learning because we're not perfect. We are not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be time that I'm going to feel pressured. There's going to be time like that. And I'm going to learn eventually not to be, I'm not going to pressure myself anymore. I'm going to get to that place. Right now, it's hard for me. Right now, I'm learning. Right now, I'm going to fall. I'm going to fail. I'm going to make mistakes. And that's okay. That is okay. Because again, guys, I'm going to repeat this again. And the reason why I repeat it so many times, because I want it to be instilled inside of you. The key, not to be pressured. Try that and you will see that eventually your sympathetic nervous system is going to start healing itself because it needs to heal itself. And one of the best ways is by not putting pressure on your sympathetic nervous system anymore and to be able to handle it the right way. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.